recording?
It's rolling. Rolling live. And
We're not live, but we're recording.
slate.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not live.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
whatever you call it.
And roll five.
today, April 22, still 10:15, our earliest video to date.
Ever.
Yes, I think ever. We even got our speakeasy video out already before we did our bourbon review. So, last week, we brought in the 1910 against the original batch, the 1897. And this week we're going to compare the 1910 with the 1920. They're two totally different bourbons. One of them's 115 proof, one of them's 93 proof. So, I mean, right off the top, you're going to pull some different flavors. It's going to kill some of your palate, you know, just because it's a little hotter. So, got some palate cleansers, got a Stroh's. I'm going to do water this week and see what it does. I don't know.
This week we're going to be drinking from the Glencairn. We're down to one.
We're down to one, our
employees. And then our beautiful little dainty wine glasses.
Yeah, our testers.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
a speakeasy Glencairn.
and it works fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to apologize. I didn't put my speakeasy t-shirt
That's
on.
quite all right.
Sorry about that.
This is speakeasy after hours. You wear what you want.
I know. I just feel like it'd look cool.
We can go
Just have to
skin. We
imagine.
can all go skins.
All right, so guys,
Freaking raw dog.
Sounds good. You're all dog, man. Let's start off with the
the 1910.
1910. Let's
Yep.
do it.
So you did that last week.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So this is the one we brought in last week.
Got it.
Yeah. So we had the original batch, and then we brought this one to
Yeah.
compare it to.
Jordan was telling me a little bit about your strategy there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
You was wanting
yeah, I'll do that one. That's fine. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
You want a Glencairn, or would you like
Oh, no,
speakeasy?
this would just be fine. I'm not picky.
So last week, 2 weeks ago, I did one all by myself. They left me alone up there, and
You had a busy day. Sorry.
and
about
my taste had changed. So I got caramels and vanillas on the original batch, and then last week when we hit it again, I got a completely different smell, a completely different taste. I got Granny Smith apples, and and it was the same bottle, totally different. I just had eaten something different.
I'm pulling the Granny Smith tonight, first
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that's
So
to me, that's coming.
yeah, and I haven't had a whole lot to eat tonight, so we're gonna see what that does.
You smell the Granny Smith at all?
I do.
It's weird, isn't it?
I do. I didn't really get it until you said it. But I smell,
I get a little
smell
subtle.
caramel first, and then
Well,
Granny
yeah.
Smith.
A little caramel apple.
Not as strong as it was in the original batch, though.
It is like it's like a fair coming right back at you with the
Yeah.
caramel on the
Yeah.
Granny Smiths. The only thing you're missing is the stick.
We can get you a steak.
I don't want to any of these
It's
sticks.
amazing. If you guys have never tried a Glencairn glass, I'm going to tell you to go out and buy one. The aroma that thing just shoots up your nose is insane.
And this one's subtler, but you get
I mean, it's night and day difference between these two
Yeah.
glasses.
and see, I get a stronger nose, but more alcohol out of this glass.
See, I'm getting the alcohol burn out of that glass.
I don't get near the alcohol burn out of this as I do this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get more alcohol out of that one.
Yeah, this I just get all the notes, the good notes. You know, the ones that are in
Let's try it.
tune.
It's not hot on the front end. It's got some rye flavor, kind of a rye burn on the end.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're
I'll
good.
shut that down. Holy cow, what's going on?
There's a whole lot going on here.
There is. It's very
Yeah.
complex. I really like that one though. It's easy drinking.
So I don't get a whole lot of caramel, a whole lot of syrup, a whole lot of vanilla. It's a sweet, but where I was picking up the sweet syrupy flavors before, this one is just like a sweet hit. It's just
And to me, with certain bourbons, you drink and you taste them for 10, 15
Yeah.
seconds afterwards. You feel the burn. This one, for me, is
finishes clean.
It does.
Yeah.
It's quick.
And quick, yeah. That's what I've noticed, yeah.
So,
It doesn't. You don't
And
get
once
that
again, guys,
burn very long either.
we're not experts. We don't know what we're doing, but that's why we're doing this video, just to give you a layman's term of what we think of the bourbons that we carry and why we carry them next door at the Speakeasy.
the blue collar.
Yeah, it's just you know, it's good. It's sweet. It's complex. No chicken wing.
No.
Um,
I mean, really, for a sipping, to sip
straight.
some bourbon,
Neat.
it's a delightful.
Absolutely.
And it's reasonably priced.
Yes, it is a fantastic bourbon. As far as retail on that, you're probably in the $57 range. You know, you're $60 or under potentially. Don't hate us; we don't pay retail for it. So,
Well, I've got one of these at home. I got one of these at home.
$40.
Yeah.
no,
'Cause
because I
one
know
of-
what we paid for this one.
Well, I've got a 1920 at home, and I only paid 52 for it.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And it's 115 proof.
Right.
So this one's probably in the 40s. You
That's-
think?
That is
That's your price.
wholesale though.
Right.
Okay, I'm going deep with Prohibition, babe.
Going deep.
Do you know any background to this one?
No, I don't. Other than reading the bottle.
Yep. What's the bottle say? Toby, you want to read it?
Oh, I'm having a tough time reading. During Prohibition, Old Forester was bottled as medicinal whiskey at the 117 West Main Street, Louisville, Kentucky, obviously, under Kentucky permit number 3.
3?
Number 3.
Number
whiskey
three.
per minute.
Number 3.
2, I didn't really care for.
Yeah, 1 was terrible.
Come
The
out
typical
right
barrel proof at that time, prior to bottling, was 115. So this is
150.
115.
So it'd be a cast strength. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Pretty cool.
So evidently, this was medicine in the Prohibition times,
Yeah.
and
it
it
still
is-
is.
it is medicine snakeback here now. I got water in there. Hold on.
Did you say snake bite?
Okay, here's one for you fellas, if anybody.
I didn't include that.
So, you watch a lot of bourbon videos, and people are sitting there
deep.
twirling, looking at the trails.
Yep.
What is that telling me?
That's telling you the proof of the bourbon.
How
for-
so?
Yeah, for one, my little 2-ounce ball quid.
Do you mean the legs?
Yes.
Legs, tails, whatever you want to call it.
So it tells you that the bourbon is proofed well, and it doesn't have a whole lot of oils in it, so the alcohol is going to make the other liquid bind up there in the top and make it separate, and those little leg droplets are coming down. I'm just
So-
pulling that out of my butt, guys.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Do you want legs? or
Yes, you
not?
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're there.
It's like an
I mean, look at 'em.
elegant lady. You want
I got-
nice legs.
Yeah. Legs like I like them. Won't say the rest of that one.
Good call. Good call.
Dot.
This is PG-13.
Okay.
No, this is not made for children, so I could say it, but I ain't going to. Sorry, not going to.
Okay, I'm seeing the legs now.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So you can
I
smell-
think that
You can smell this one's hotter.
my cup's broken. I'm not seeing legs at all.
You get that.
I'm getting a vanilla. I'm still kind of faintly getting the Granny Smith.
I don't know what I'm getting. I'm trying to grasp it. What is that?
I'm getting an alcohol burn out of the Glencairn.
Yeah, I get that pretty strong out of this.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm in that sweet. No maple syrup, just sweet. Not like cotton candy or anything, just like,
Yeah, I'm getting some sweet.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little floral, I think. Like
That's possible.
maybe my nose is broke.
See, I'm leaning towards, even though you said no maple syrup, I'm getting the same sweet
I-
smell out of like a maple syrup.
yeah, I got, well, yes, and that's, I don't get the maple on it, but I get the sweetness from
Syrup
it.
smell.
Yes.
Maybe just an inch of mine.
Yeah.
Fake syrup.
I get a little bit of the caramel, so you can get the caramelized barrel in it, just a little bit.
Yep, I am smelling that now. You say it.
And some smoke. You get the oaky, the
Yeah, oh,
smoky oaky.
I get the smoky oaky.
Yep.
See, I'm not.
You know, it's-
I don't think I'm.
I spinning myself around after
I
that.
don't think I'm hitting the smoke.
Oh, I definitely get smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I smell smoke. On the nose.
Oh yeah, this one's like sweet all the way up front. This one
Oh,
is
wow.
different. Yeah.
That is like 100% syrup.
And
Yeah.
and what's crazy is same bourbons,
Yeah.
different glasses.
Yeah.
How is that even
So how
possible?
much is that? Do you think?
It's just a collection.
Correct.
Yes.
But as far as flavor, obviously, I'm gonna because I'm getting all the
Right.
smell
Right.
that you're not getting out of this glass. How much do you
But-
think that's affecting?
But
the taste?
I'm getting the sweet. It's just not that big nose pop that you're getting out of this. But then again, I'm getting the smoke and the oak and some caramel. I don't get vanilla in this one.
Yeah, no vanilla.
All right. Time to
super,
take.
super sweet on the front end for me. Then it's hot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Pretty hot.
It is.
Initially, it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's spicy because it's 115 proof. You can feel the burn on your tongue. You don't feel it going down necessarily. Now, if you took a whole shot of it, you would, but it definitely coats your tongue, and you can feel that.
Yeah.
Your tongue is clean. You can go home and kiss your wife, and not have to worry about anything.
Oh. Sorry about that.
But I mean, on the taste, you do get the sweet, but I'm still getting that oaky smoke taste on the kind of right after that initial pop of sweet, and right before it kills your tongue. That's the chicken wing.
Did you raw or did you just cannonball
I
that?
just cannonballed, babe.
I poured heavy, so I can't cannonball.
It's hot. I don't remember it being that hot when we raw dogged it.
Just a
It's
little
hot.
one.
A
Don't
little bit more for you.
yeah, just no, just that much. Take it in. Don't open your mouth. Keep your mouth shut, and because
That's-
it coats that.
I did that on the last
Okay.
one and let it set in there for a minute.
Yeah.
Just to see what my tongue was doing. It was hot.
Your nose is running.
Allergies. Stupid pollen.
Okay.
Get a lot of barrel spice, a lot of alcohol heat. Not maple syrup, not sweet. You get a kind of a little kiss of something sweet on the front end, and then the alcohol kills it.
Yes.
And it's still there. And not the alcohol, but the flavor.
It lingers.
Yeah, your
It's more spicy.
after flavor is like a rye.
I remember that.
You're getting that little spicy on the back of your tongue. And it kind of gets your salivary glands going on the sides.
Yes, for sure.
So that's a tart, the tannins, the acids in the barrel coming out. So your tannic acids are going to produce that tartness. It's not horrible. I prefer the 93 over the 115 over the 1920. So
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going. By far, love Old Forester. Everything I've had from them, thoroughly enjoy it. Original batch, love. The 1910, also enjoy. This is my third.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
try it with a little bit of water and see if it brings out any flavors. And there's actually like half water, half bourbon there.
And I'll tell you this too. I did make a mixer with this last night with a little soda pop. It was delightful.
So you smelled that before. Smell it now.
Much calmer. That sour apple.
Yeah. It's Granny Smith. Just it's like a woodchuck Granny Smith.
Hello.
So cut.
Raw dogging it, dude?
So cut. Hold on a minute. Try with a little bit of half water, half bourbon. It is the flavor's there. It's smooth. It's pleasant. It's good. So if my recommendation, if you're going to do the Prohibition, the 1920, do it on rocks.
Yes, I will 100%
Yes, yes.
agree with that.
Yep.
Put some rocks in your glass, let it melt out a little bit,
Let it
and
settle.
blend.
Mhm,
It is
I've got
stupid,
that at home, so I know what's up.
stupid fantastic with a little bit of water in it.
Mhm.
I mean, if you put 2 ounces in a cup, you're still going to get 2 ounces of bourbon. It doesn't matter how much,
Yep.
the ice melts. As long
Yep.
as you finish the cup, you're going to get it.
Yep.
But it tames that heat and makes it so much smoother
I get almost nothing
from the bottle.
From the bottle.
from the bottle.
What
I
about
mean, I get the alcohol smell, but yourself?
Let's see here. I get caramel and vanillas just from the edge of the bottle.
See, I'm getting a lot of smoky from this,
Yeah.
I don't
which
get
might
anything.
be the
Yeah.
building that's half burnt.
I'm just like Matt. I don't get anything.
Yeah, I get the sweet.
No. I
And
think
the
it's
smoke.
because I'm pulling too much outside air.
Yeah, just
Possible.
yeah. Smell the stopper. Ah, never mind.
We're not going to use
don't
that.
smell the
We're not
stopper.
gonna- We're not going to use that.
Raw dog. Oh my God.
Okay.
Needs
Raw
to be
dog,
washed.
completely different than the Glencairn.
Well,
Oh, I guarantee it.
100%. I'm not getting that nose.
yeah, and that's a big part of your taste is the nose.
huge.
So when you smell something, your tongue says, "Hey, that's going to taste like this."
Mm-hmm.
That is delightful raw dogging. For me.
So on the rocks or raw dog for the 1920.
Yeah, that
It is. I would prefer it on the rocks, as opposed to raw dog out of the bottle. And it's
but raw dogging,
same price.
you're not. I didn't have all that heat and
Right.
everything.
I got a little bit of it.
but not
Yes.
Competitive.
Yes.
nowhere close.
You think when you put it in the glass, it's like setting it on fire, and then you just feel like you're drinking
I do.
fire a little bit. Yeah.
It's just blowing right up in your nose.
Water, Patoka water, fantastic.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's more doable.
Yeah.
It's
It
more
is.
tolerable.
So, rocks or raw dog?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
right now,
Double R.
the way it sets, we've done 3. We did the original. We've done the 1910 and the 1920 Prohibition. My favorite is the original from the first video.
Hands down. Also.
Yes, it has so much more flavor. It's a little lower on proof, but it doesn't burn your tongue when you do it. So you're going to get some other complexities in there with it.
86. Is that what the?
No, that's the
It was. No, it's 90.
that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 90.
90.
so.
But the 115 is hot.
It's
so
hot.
so if you're going to drink it and nose it, it's hot, it's loud, it's up front, it's going to smack you in the face.
Hard.
Yes. This one is very, very, very pleasant, and you can tell we enjoy it thoroughly. But it's smooth, it's subtle, it's nowhere near as hot as this one. If you're gonna do a Prohibition series or a Prohibition era, Old Forester, I recommend it. Not neat, but on the rocks. Throw a rock in there or two and set it. Enjoy a little bit, enjoy your appetizers, and then go in and hit the bourbon, because those appetizers are also going to change your palate and add some more flavors of this that we're not picking up because we don't have anything to eat right now. We need to start bringing some buttered pretzels up here. Just
Let's try something.
yes,
So yeah, I agree 100% with Cody. Original batch. This is number 2. This is number 3. Raw dogging for me, or on the rocks.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
Also as a mixer.
As a mixer,
It's-
yes,
it's fantastic.
yes.
So.
Yep, and I'm glad that they do it. It's not a bad bourbon at all. This is a very good bourbon. It's just hot. So the mixer and the rocks are gonna tame it down a little bit, and make that tiger into a little house cat. Gonna make it nice and pleasant. He's laughing over here. So, all right, Lenny. But I mean, all in all, they're both fantastic bourbons. It depends on what you're looking for in a bourbon. This one is spicy on the back end. It's spicy just because it's it's 115 proof. It's got that high alcohol. If you're looking to go get wasted, by all means, get the 115. It's going to get you there quick.
So,
Yes, this one here, it'll get you there, but it's going to be a whole lot more pleasant getting you there. Now, the next morning, I don't know. So, what's your thoughts on it, Toby?
I think you skipped one. So there's a bottled in bond, 1897.
Yep.
So
is that what we did?
We did 1897.
So we've done 4.
well, this
I
would
don't
be
know.
this is the
third
last
video.
one. This is a fourth. The original batch I think is 1870, and there's
Yes.
a 97.
Are you getting little notes over there?
Well, when you were talking, and so the 97 bottled in
90s.
bond.
97 is the original batch, isn't it?
No, I think that's 1870.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the original batch. The 97 bottled in bond, 1897, is my favorite.
The
100 proof.
100 proof.
Yes.
Yes.
That was is that the one we did last week?
I don't know if it's the one we did last. No, I don't know. I think we did the 1910 last week.
You did the bottle and bond.
I did
Well, so-
original batch. I think.
I don't remember.
I'll have to check the video. We may have skipped one. If we do skip one, we'll go back and hit it. I
Yeah,
promise
let's go
you.
back and hit it.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Not
but-
tonight. No.
Yeah, the bottled in bond, I think we missed. And that's my favorite, actually.
See,
Yeah,
I think
the
we
97.
talked about it with Jordan last.
we did. I think we did.
I'm sure he.
Yeah,
hit
it might have been up next in this week, and we skipped it and went to the Prohibition series, and that's quite possible because it may have been out on our shelf, and we just nope.
Yeah.
So, but if
all
that's
good.
the case,
It's
we
all good.
will hit
Either
it.
way,
We did this one, and then we're gonna do this one compared to next week's, which may be the bottle and bond.
Going back
Or-
to
Yes.
the 97.
will be the Statesman.
That's right.
Or the Statesman. So,
The
to
Statesman
me,
is-
if you're comparing these two, I feel like you can drink this one however you'd like. On the rocks, raw dog, neat. I think you're going to enjoy it no matter what. This one, I have to agree with the guys.
Yep.
You have to let it sit on some rocks. That would be that's how I drink it at my house.
Yeah.
I don't drink it neat. It's just too
Too
it's
loud.
too hot.
Yeah.
It's too loud. I don't
It-
enjoy it
Yeah.
neat. I enjoy it on the rocks. Let it sit for 2 minutes maybe, and
Yeah.
then it's amazing.
Hmm.
That's my take. 1897. I'm looking forward to next week.
Absolutely.
Bottle and bond. That's my fave.
Bottle and Bond is good. It is a fantastic one.
Yep.
Original batch right now.
I know it's your favorite. It's your guys'
It tickles
favorite.
my fancy right
I
now.
know it does, and I think
But-
that's awesome. Everybody has
Yes.
to each their own.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it awesome.
All of them, every one of them, all 4 of them do not suck.
No, not at all.
That's what's pretty awesome about it.
And-
They don't make a product that sucks.
Right.
Right.
Even their
down the road.
86, which you can just go down to Walmart and
Sam's
get,
Club, whatever.
yeah, 86,
Yep.
like you were saying
Yep.
earlier. That's good stuff too. That's what
Yes.
we make all of our old fashions with 86. Just the old, $20 bottle, $25 bottle, 86.
Makes
all
a
this
delightful
stuff.
cocktail.
I drink it on the rocks or neat.
And eat hot pepper cheese.
Oh,
So,
Let me slow down.
hashtag therapy lounge.
We're gonna
Go
do
from
one of
there. We
these
gotta
on the
do one
therapy
for
lounge.
Absolutely.
Maybe next week.
He hasn't been to the therapy
I've never
lounge.
been there.
We're gonna do it next week, next Thursday. Tune in. We're gonna have all 4 of them. But we're gonna mainly hit the bottle of
Oh,
bond.
well, okay, let's do these up here, and
Yeah.
then we'll do the recap, all of them,
Yeah.
at the therapy lounge.
Okay.
Yes.
Sound good?
Next week or the week after?
No. So we got bottle and bond to do. We still
Maybe.
have, potentially.
We know we have the Statesman
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
We have the Statesman, but we'll do all the
whole
Old
Whiskey
Forester
Row.
Now
whiskey
this
1-to-1.
Statesman, is that a whiskey row series?
I don't think the
I don't-
Statesman is,
I don't
but
think so,
but
but-
it's still a fantastic
Oh,
bourbon.
It's not terrible. It's pretty
But
nice.
we'll go through our Old Foresters up here with this burnt background here,
Mm-hmm,
and then once we get through all of our Old Foresters, we're gonna pack them over to the
Therapy
therapy lounge, and we'll do a big unveil review of this is my favorite because of this is your favorite because of this is your favorite because of,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll shoot some pool.
Yeah. And I'll have well, we'll get Marshall over there too, so I'll get.
Hashtag
Make sure-
Adam Marshall.
Adam
Have
Marshall.
you left the country? I mean,
I mean,
Yeah,
what happened
yeah.
to you?
Where you at, Adam
you
Marshall?
still live here? Do we?
We'll get all Glencairns over there for that evening, so we're all gonna have Glencairns. We'll either have the Glencairn or the Orleans glass, which is the styrofoam cup we get
Or these.
right down here at Galleons, if you still want to call it that. So,
Times are changing in Orleans, guys. It's inside joke there.
There you go.
I still got bourbon to drink, so
Cannonball.
Cannonball this
Cannonball.
thing.
Cannonball.
It's a 1920 Cannonball. It's super hot. We got a lot of load behind it. We're gonna hit the charge button. Bam.
Come on to the floor. Boom, boom, boom. Yes.
It just happened. It
Oh.
just happened. Okay.
Ooh.
Fold up with the raw dog.
Raw dog of the 93 proof. Can do.
That is hot stuff.
It really is. Out of the glass.
We're gonna kill that. Let's just kill it. I mean, you don't have to kill it. I'd like to share, or I'd like to have some too as well. So you're gonna get the backwash. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it, baby.
Oh,
If you get a chunk, I'm sorry. That is quite pleasant, raw dog.
It really
left you
is.
about
That is-
shot.
So I get the maple syrup on the back end of the
That
taste
is
raw dog.
amazing. That is amazing stuff.
So after you swallow, and
It really is.
and
I
it
mean,
comes back and kisses you again, I get that maple syrup on the back end. Yes,
so
it's very
so
very
93,
that is,
right?
93.
Well, 93 proof.
good. Yeah.
That's why I like the bottled and bond the most, because this is actually a little too subtle for me. I like a little bit more kick. So that's why I
Okay.
like the bottled and bond a little bit more.
Where to put that one?
raw dog.
There.
Yeah, because this one's gonzo.
It's gone. She gone.
She good.
I think more people should raw dog their whiskey.
I think so too.
I mean, don't be scared of it.
Hashtag
So-
raw dog. Let's just start a movement.
So, as far as my bourbon experience, it all started with this guy. I was not a whiskey guy, not a bourbon guy, period. I mean, I drink PBR, I drink some beer and all that. We started smoking meats, and he'd have some Wild Turkey 101, kicking chicken. I was like, oh, that's pretty good crap. And it is very, very pleasant. You know, you get the sweets and the subtles from it, and you know the barrel and the, you know, just the mash bill itself. So that kind of kicked me into the bourbon world. I mean, look at the legs on that; they're all the way up here. I mean,
Yeah.
they're long legs. That's got legs of a 6-foot blonde there.
It really
You're
does.
telling a little bit of your story on bourbon and how you got into it. So I'm going to tell a little bit of my story.
Absolutely.
So I was in the Navy for 9 years, and like I thought bourbon was, I thought it started and stopped with Jim Beam. I thought that's what it was. I thought bourbon was Jim Beam, and that's really all that you needed. And when I had very little money, I would buy what they call Beam's 8-star, which is like worse than 10 high, and it's bad stuff. It's basically like drinking gasoline mixed with kerosene.
With a little bit of barrel color.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Liquid smoke.
So
Yeah.
I always had like, you know, this is before Therapy Lounge. This is well before Therapy Lounge. I'd have like a Buffalo Trace, you know, just Jim Beam, some Wild Turkey, and my buddy Jordan, which he's not here, and I'm gonna kind of
Bust his
pump.
balls.
No, I'm actually gonna pump him up a little bit.
Hey,
here.
we just mentioned Buffalo Trace, which is the only whiskey with balls on the label.
There you go.
We can bust his balls.
We're gonna bust his balls, but I'm actually gonna pump him up a little bit. So Jordan started coming over and helping me, and he got me fired up to. He's like, "You've always talked about doing the bar upstairs. Let's do this bar. Let's get this thing going." So in that whole process, I was also helping him with his projects at his shop, and when I'd go over to his shop, we'd work, and he had this cabinet, roll-around cabinet, just full of all these bourbons, and I'm like, show me what you got, teach me stuff. And he got me just totally jacked up about this bourbon, the history of the bourbon, how they make bourbon, all the knowledge that he has. And I'm just like, holy cow, this is really, really, really cool stuff. So I learned very quickly that it doesn't start and stop with Jim Beam. Jim Beam's awesome product, no doubt about it, but it doesn't start and stop with Jim Beam.
Yes.
So the closer I got to getting the therapy lounge going, I was like, okay, the therapy lounge is going to be nothing but bourbon and beer. If anybody brings things up there that's not bourbon, Canadian whiskey, other thing, moonshine, other things, that he brought some moonshine that he made. Moonshine found in a holler west of town.
It's probably still up there.
It is. We'll try it that night. Anyway, it gets put kind of behind where you can't see. So the only thing you can see at the therapy lounge is bourbon, and the only thing you can order or get from the refrigerator is beer. So it's bourbon and beer. The reason I did that is because I think it's so cool that we live so close, and we are in Indiana, I know, but we're so close to where bourbon
Originated.
started.
Yes.
Right. And its history, and Jordan can go into the history and why the government had to come in and get involved and started, the quality assurance, and that way the companies weren't just, these small companies weren't just coming in and selling us whiskey that wasn't worth a crap, wasn't, it was aged 3 days instead of 2 years and all this. And I mean, it's an incredible story. The bourbon story, I think, is an incredible story that I want to almost put on stage in at the therapy lounge. Like, this is very amazing. And if you don't like bourbon, that's fine. We got some beer for you. And if you don't like that, we got something behind the shelf where you can't really see. And if you don't like that, then here's the door. But that's kind of why, that's kind of my story on who got me involved in actual, bourbon and the good stuff. And I appreciate Jordan, and I think it's fun when all four of us is here, and then even more fun when Marshall's here, all five of us, and hopefully we get all five of us together for the grand finale.
Absolutely.
Whiskey Rose Series at
Now,
the therapy lounge.
That being said, bourbon has to be put in a cask just to be bourbon. It doesn't specify the length that it has to stay in a cask, unless you go into bottle and bond. Now, bottle and bond is a government restriction.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Okay, so for people that don't know what a cask is, what is
A
that?
cask is a wood barrel. So the wood barrel you see on all the commercials that they put the whiskey in, they pop the bung out of the bung hole and roll it over and dump the bourbon in, and then they blend the barrels together to make a batch. Now, so to be a bourbon, it doesn't have to be aged for any length of time in a cask, a wooden barrel, typically white oak in this area. It just has to go into a barrel and then come right back out. Now, bottle and bond means it's a government regulation, government stipulation that says it has to be of a certain proof, which is how strong the whiskey is, because it is all whiskey. So bourbon is whiskey. Moonshine is whiskey. It's all whiskey, but bourbon is a subclass under whiskey. So it has to have a certain grain bill, 51% of corn on the grain bill. It has to go into a bourbon or into a oak barrel, a cask, so to speak. And then it doesn't specify length unless you go into bottle and bond. Bottle and bond, it has to go in for a minimum of,
I thought it was 4.
it's 4 years, and it has to finish at 100 proof. So I mean, just in that, and I don't have to have it as a bottle and bond.
No.
There are plenty other whiskeys and bourbons out there that are fantastic that are not bottle and bond,
There's one of them.
What
but
example?
that are delightful, delicious, soft and subtle and sweet, and will kiss you. And you know that's the thing is, what he likes may not be what I like, may not be what he likes, and you know and we're going to get into this later on, but we have some other products that is not bourbon at all that are stupidly fantastic. They're oaky, they're smoky, they're cigar, they're tobacco, they're delightful. Not bourbon. And it changes your whole mindset on, oh, bourbon is good, but so is that.
I'm
But-
still
and that-
stumbling block for me.
Yes, and that being said, that's for a different video. So we're starting with the Old Forester because that is our house bourbon. So, and I mean, we live less than an hour away from Bourbon County, Bourbon, Kentucky, Bourbon County, Bourbon Country.
Yeah.
And the reason that Kentucky is known for its bourbon is because the minerals in the water that come out of the springs are low in iron. It's a softer water. It's it's not going to have those stringent tastes that you can get from spring water here in Indiana. We kind of taper up as you go north, but we can get low iron water, but we're still going to have a little bit of iron in our water, and that affects the flavor of the bourbon. So it's going to react, and our old chemistry math teacher Doug Thayer can hashtag Doug Thayer, awesome guy, can tell you why all these things react together, physics, chemistry, and it goes on and on and on. But Kentucky and Appalachia, Kentucky has the perfect environment for bourbon, and that's why it's here. That's why we're so
it
close.
originated there.
Yes.
But it doesn't have to come from that region to be.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
But it's got to come from the United States.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's pretty cool.
It is.
it's awesome.
It's very unique.
And
Yes.
the one thing I love about it is the craftsmanship. I mean, you've got, I don't know what all went into making bourbon because I've never made it. But to me, it's very fascinating.
Yeah.
So,
Takes a lot of coordination.
yeah. I mean,
And it
it's
takes
just like
time.
a piece of architecture or a piece of art.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody has
absolutely.
put their heart and soul to get this flavor.
Absolutely.
And they pay somebody to blend this together so that it's consistent, so that this bottle will taste like the next bottle and the next bottle and the next
That's
bottle.
why single barrels
Yes.
are so unique. Is you can get a single barrel and then a month later buy another single barrel and it's going to taste different.
Yes, and
So-
that's where I have an affinity against single barrel.
I have affinity against single barrel if you're using them in a tasting
Yes.
contest. But like, I love single barrel just to have.
Yes, single barrel is good, but
You're not going to replicate it.
So
No,
me
never.
as an entrepreneur, Matt and I, we make an old fashioned. We use original batch Old Forester, and when we make that old fashioned, we want it to be that old fashioned the same day in and day out. If you have a single barrel liquor, whether it's bourbon, rum, vodka, anything, that is going to change from one bottle to the next because you're probably not going to get two bottles that are the same barrel. And
The barrel could be on the top level
Right.
of the
Yes.
rack house or the
Yeah.
bottom, or in the middle, and it all. There's so many.
Yep.
There's so many variables.
Absolutely.
Tons of variables.
So and that's why I say I'm not into the single barrel. I do enjoy them to drink, but to serve to patrons, no, because you can't replicate it. Once that barrel is gone, you cannot get that barrel again. You can get close, but you can't get. And not saying that this is not a single barrel liquor, But in that instance, if you have a single barrel liquor, that's what you have. That is the flavors you have, and then once those 50 bottles are down, it's the next barrel, and they may taste totally different, and you may not like them at all. It's just, you know,
Yeah,
and that is the craft part of it.
yeah, that's true. I mean, Jordan's got a single barrel Four Roses at the therapy lounge. He keeps over there, and we don't drink it very often because it's so good. It's like
Right.
we know when it's gone.
You
It's
can't
gone.
get it again.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like having money in the bank that you don't want to spend.
Yeah.
Almost. Bourbon's cool though, because like you could take every one of these Whiskey Row series and throw the Statesman in there and throw 86 in there and put just a little bit in a shot glass in front of somebody that doesn't really like bourbon, doesn't understand bourbon, and they're gonna taste they're gonna taste each one and say they taste it all exactly the same.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
that's what's cool is like if you love bourbon and you really want to get into it and you want to surround yourself with people that are semi-professionals,
Get you a Glencairn.
get you a Glencairn, and really start studying the bourbon and start listening to folks that know about bourbon and know why it does taste different and why it's going, you know, I love listening to Jordan because he'll tell you why that tastes different than that or
Right.
whatever. And it's just, to me, it's fun. It's, you know, it's not about like when 25 years ago, I was all about just getting a buzz. But now I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a buzz and I'm going to learn something.
And it's going to taste good.
And it's going to taste
Yes.
good.
Yes.
So it's like, it's so much fun. I mean, some people just don't understand, I guess.
Yes. And all that being said, it comes down to craftsmanship. I mean, there is so much that goes into making these bourbons. You have the coopers that make the barrels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the farmers that grow the grain and the fermenter, you know, the fermentation process, what yeast you're using. Yeast throws, I'm a beer brewer, so I know all about different strains of yeast, flavoring different things different ways. So if you pitch a different yeast in it, it's going to be totally different. The fermentation length, the temperature is fermented at, what you do to get that, to get the beer, because this is a beer before it's distilled, what you do to get the beer to the done fermentation. You know, what temperature is it at? Do you got to do a 7-day fermentation or a 3-day fermentation in the summertime? And then the distillation process. Are they using a pot still? Are they using a column still? Are they using, there's so many different variables, you know, a thumper keg, I don't know. And then you're going to wind up with a clear liquid that looks like water. It's going to be a high proof. This is water. It is. Yes, it's water. But you're going to wind up with
That's what you say.
you're going to wind up with a high proof liquor, clear green liquor, and it's going to taste like moonshine. You're going to get some subtle flavors out of that liquor.
Until you put it.
And then once you put it in a cask, an oak barrel that's been charred on the inside, and the charring does a number of things. So it's going to bring the richness of the wood out. Charcoal is also a fantastic toxin neutralizer. So as the barrel breathes with the barometric pressure change, it's gonna change the flavors. It's gonna push the liquor into the barrel, and then into the walls of the barrel, and then suck it right back in. And that's where your color is going to come in. How long you leave it in the barrel is going to say whether you're getting the sweets, whether you're getting the smoke, whether you're getting the tannins, the little salivary glands in the back, whether you're getting, the syrup. It's the complexity is in the wood, and a valley away, a grove away, the white oak here versus the white oak here can taste completely different in the barrel. And that's why you have a blender to try to even and do an even keel on I want it to taste like this all the time. And that's why they have those guys, not us. I'm not a professional at all, but I can know something and say, no, that's not even close. So you have to go and pick a different barrel from a different batch, from a different oak, and try to get these same things so you have consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
And that's the key.
It's the same.
Unless you're into single barrels. Yeah.
Yeah, a blended thing is the same thing as like if you're painting something and you know it's going to take a high volume. Well, say it's going to take 10 gallons. Well, you'll take 5 gallons of paint and throw it into a tub so that it all blends together. And in case the tint's off just a little bit, it blends together. And then you paint, and then
Yep.
it doesn't look different from the left side of the wall to the right side of the wall, the back of the house to the front of the house, or whatever. It's the same. The same deal.
So this is aged at least 4 years, probably 4.5 years. So, I mean, that's from basically this
Yes, absolutely.
to that in 4.5 years.
And that's
which is,
all the color comes from the barrel.
that is wood.
Yes. It breathes in the wood
Yes.
and it goes out of the wood. So you hear the devil's cut and the angel's cut, angel and all that. And you do lose alcohol in the evaporation process. It does come out of the barrel a little bit. As wood absorbs moisture, it gets tighter, so it seals and it gets a more seal to it. It doesn't leak. And over the years, if you have a liquor in a barrel for 4 years, good catch, huh?
Well, that's good.
They're going to rotate it in the warehouse. So it may go from the bottom floor, and work its way up to the top floor and then back to the bottom, just so that they can try to keep a consistent product. Guys are paid just to move barrels around, just to raise and lower.
Maybe we need to get on
Consistency.
that job.
No, I don't want to push those around. They're big barrels.
Push that back of the truck.
I don't know how
don't
that
have
whole
to-
Yeah,
barrel.
yeah,
I didn't see
That would be literally your own signature single barrel.
yeah. Single barrel, speakeasy,
Speakeasy
single
series.
barrel.
God.
Speakeasy. Yeah.
So, all being said, I think we had a pretty good video. Like I said, I prefer this one, the empty one, over this one, the not so empty one.
I 100% agree.
And it's just the proof of it. So this one has more alcohol in it than this one does, and that's my preference. If you add a little water to it, it's going to tame the flavors. It's going to bring out more flavors because water does that. It's weird.
Don't raw dog it.
Raw
So
dog.
you're not getting the
Yeah.
nose.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that's all I got this week.
Yep.
Me too.
We're going to sign off and go check on some sausage we got cooking in the oven at 800 degrees that we forgot about for a little bit ago.
I know.
And I think it'll be fine.
It'll be delicious.
But next Thursday, guys, follow us, like, subscribe, turn the bell on. Let us know we're doing okay. Give us a little review. If we say something wrong, by all means.
Yeah, call us out.
Yeah, call us out.
We need to learn too.
We'll correct it. Like I said, I am no expert.
No.
I can't speak for them. I am no expert.
I'm an expert, but not on bourbon.
I've drank a lot of bourbon.
I've drank a lot of bourbon.
That's that's all I've got. I've drank
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
And that was just sarcastic. I'm no expert.
But seriously, maybe.
But maybe, seriously. 100% maybe.
But then, like I said, if we say something wrong, call us out on it. We'll fix it in the next one and go from
We're
there.
gonna say something wrong.
Yeah, we are. I promise you. We're drinking bourbon.
We're gonna check. Make sure we didn't skip one.
I kind of think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But we're gonna get it figured out.
We'll
Next
get it figured
Thursday, we'll see you.
absolutely. Right back here. Because we're not going to you got to
Magic.
get your magic fingers out.
Magic fingers.
Jazz
Yep.
hands.
We're not going to go to the therapy lounge until
We got them figured
later
out.
on.
I
That's
think
right.
we did the bottle of Mond.
You think so?
I think you did the bottle of Mond.
Wait a minute. So there's only been